I don't know what to think. That's a lie. I know exactly what to think of this season, but we'll talk about that after we go through the cast and while we go through the cast. I'm sorry if my voice sounds hoarse. It's because of this huge cock I have. Anyways, yeah, Drag Race UK versus the World has been announced. I know that it's just yet another cash grab for Ru and company, but I think it's an interesting concept for a returnee season. I'm glad that this isn't just like World All-Stars or whatever. Today, we'll be ranking the 9 contestants of this season based on how they did in their first original seasons using this point system and then the Queen's PP scores or their points per episode scores. I have not seen Drag Race Canada, nor have I seen Drag Race Holland, so the scores for the Queens from those seasons, I have not checked at all. I don't know who they are. I'm just taking their placements straight from the Wikia, so take this preseason ranking with a grain of salt. But before we begin, I would like to welcome and thank my new patrons this month since I have been gone for a bit. Emma Stark, thank you so much for joining, Emma. Early access is now available for tier 1 patrons, but because of that, I had to make video suggestions a tier 2 and a tier 3 perk only. Starting from the bottom, kind of, sort of. This is more like a null position, or just someone who's not eligible to be ranked here, as she has never competed on a Drag Race season. It's Pangina Heels, one of the hosts of Drag Race Thailand, the best Drag Race spinoff, and honestly the best franchise. Pangina is a jack of all trades. She's a fantastic performer, her looks are fantastic, she's funny, she can host, of course, and she looks presentable out of drag, a rarity these days. This is such an interesting dynamic, having a host of a Drag Race spin-off compete on Drag Race, while being judged by the mainest of main judges. Now, of course, there's this question that we can ask ourselves. What would Pangina, as a representative of Drag Race Thailand, losing mean to the spin-off of Drag Race Thailand? Would it carry a negative connotation when it comes to the show? Hopefully not. But I'm excited to see Pangina on this season. In the actual last place is Cheryl Hall. Cheryl famously or infamously has one of the worst track records in Drag Race history when we look at queens that competed in more than like 2 or 3 episodes. So she has a lot to prove coming into this season. Just think, she earned 13 points during her entire stay on Drag Race UK Season 1. Simone had that after 3 episodes of Season 13. I like Cheryl. I think she's very good TV, but this is clearly the case of who's available. You know what I mean? If you want the best show possible, you would cast the best contestants. And competition-wise, Cheryl is not the greatest. However, and again, she's very good TV. Interestingly enough, in the 7th place, we have the queen that went home because of Cheryl. Blue Hydrangea. Blue is like the only one to have a normal PP score. You'll see the rest of these soon. She was criminally underrated on her season. She became fan favorite, unnecessarily was put into the bottom 2 in her last episode. She rhymed home with home. So, you know, she also kind of has something to prove with her return. Blue's humor is so stupid, but in like a good way. If anything, because of her and most of this cast, this season will be just mindless fun, and maybe that's what we need. Plus, let's not forget that Blue had some of the best runways on Season 1. Sure, the competition was not the strongest in that regard, but yeah, her looks are really good. In the 6th place is Aussie of Drag Race. Well, okay, not really. She doesn't get less and less likable by season. It's Jujubee. You guys know how much I love Jujubee. She's legit in my top 5 favorites from the show. It's just like in general, like top 5 favorite human beings. However, and I'm going to say something very controversial here, she should not be here. And why is that? Well, because she should have won All-Stars 5. Come on, guys. 2nd best track record and the best storyline. The only enjoyable queen on that season did not win the season, but the 3rd best track record and somebody crying over rose petals did. Sure, Jujubee is great, we all know that. I just wish RuPaul would see it and finally crown her. She's one of those queens that doesn't need a crown to be one of the greats, but it would look nice on her. I just don't want to see her get eliminated again. Speaking of queens that absolutely should not be here because they should have won their All-Star seasons, it's Mo Hart, formerly known as Monique Hart. Guys, we're going to have Mo and Jujubee on the same season. Like, let's just relish in that. This will be my favorite season, faults and all. Kind of like Jujubee, it does not seem like RuPaul likes Mo. I mean, come on. Second best track record and the second best storyline with totally bullshit low placements were not enough for RuPaul to crown her alongside Trinity. Give me a fucking break. You know what? Triple crowning between Mo, Juju, and Pangina. Please, guys, I want to see it happen. In the fourth place is a queen that I can't say much about. Jimbo. I've seen some clips of Jimbo and she seems very fun and kind of out there. Her comedy is kind of familiar and silly and stupid. So yeah, entertainment factor of the season will be through the roof. So if you will, please tell me in the comments something that you like about Jimbo. In the third spot is another Drag Race Canada queen, Lemon. Now, I watched IMHO's cast review of this season, of course, and they alluded to the fact that I guess Lemon's comedy is very blue, which is funny because we also have another queen whose comedy is blue in Blue Hydrangea. So I think that RuPaul will have an aneurysm when they start making piss jokes. Again, don't know anything about Lemon, so please help me out in the comments below. And before anybody says,
watch the seasons, this is so disrespectful.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Are you going to pass my exams for me? Are you going to do my job for me? Are you going to maintain all of my relationships for me? Are you going to go to the gym for me? Didn't think so. In the second place, we have a queen from Drag Race Holland, Janey, Jacké. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I bet I did. But I watched 3 different videos and heard 3 different pronunciations of her name. So, you know, this is a stab in the dark for me. Again, I don't know anything about this queen, but she's stunning, I can tell you that much. She earned the same amount of points in the same amount of episodes as the queen in the first spot, but she's here in the second because her score is boosted by 1 mini challenge win. The queen in the first spot is Baga Chipz. Interesting that the UK girls are at the bottom and at the top of this preseason ranking. You know, Baga does have a fair amount to prove from season 1. She got loads of favoritism, especially when it comes to her runway presentations. However, the said favoritism did not miss her when it comes to her comedy either. But hey, she's an entertaining queen, she'll make this season fun, and she'll probably bring in viewers. She's pretty well known in the UK, where it does seem like every third person has been on a reality show, on EastEnders, or in a girl group. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, the good, that's the cast. I think that this season has a great crop of queens that can give you comedy, performances, looks, heart, no pun intended, and genuineness. Also, who's gonna be the confessional queen? Like, they're all good at it. Another good thing that I've already mentioned is also the new idea for an all or most returnee season. It's not just All-Star 75 or something now. However, there are some bad things. Firstly, only 9 queens and only 6 episodes? Come on. I know Rue and Michelle are overbooked by doing 12 seasons per year, but you could have been less money hungry and invested more in order to have a more fun product. Next, given that this counts as a UK season, isn't it kind of expected for a UK queen to win? I mean, they're doing this season in collaboration with BBC. I don't know if they would have an outsider, as it were, win here. Plus, with all these queens from different seasons that RuPaul has not judged, there is always the concern of favoritism of quote-unquote his queens. And we all know very well how RuPaul and Michelle have no respect for, nor knowledge of, cultures that are not from the English-speaking regions of the world. So, Janey and Pangina are at an immediate disadvantage for being, well, possibly not understood. Or even worse, they will be made to kind of dumb down on their cultural references in order for the old couple hosting the show to get them. Lastly, why no Drag Race España? The 10th queen could have easily been either Poopy Poison or Arancha. Their drag and their comedy styles would fit in well with these queens. And that's it. that's the video. To be honest, I will not be doing too many videos on this season, other than the regular rankings, which will literally only be like 2 videos, as I always do them after the 3rd competitive episode, so 3rd and 4th episode, and then the 5th episode will be the episode before the finale, and for every episode before the finale, I do the who should win videos, so it's basically a nothing season. What are your thoughts on the season? Who do you think is going to win? No spoilers. Thank you for watching.